Is the Motoz Tractionator Rallz and the Motoz Tractionator Dual Venture the best tyre combination for adventure riding? Well, in this video, we're gonna find out. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. In today's video, I'm going to be speaking about these two Motoz tyres. I've done a total of 5,122 kilometers thus far, still going relatively strong. These tyres have been abused and tortured by me. I've done a total, or an estimated total, of 4,000 kilometers on some of the hardest terrain Australia has to offer, which is on the tracks and trails in and around the Victorian High Country and the Sydney Blue Mountains, and approximately 1,000 kilometers on the tar to get to place. I'm going to be speaking about my opinions and my experiences, but if you don't want to wait for the punchline and wait to the end of the video, yes, in short, these tyres are sensational, and I'm going to tell you why. Before I go into each of these tyres individually and give you my pros and cons, please drop in the comments below if you disagree or agree with my following statement. But we as adventure riders too often go down that rabbit hole of research, trying to find the perfect bike, the perfect product, in this instance, the perfect tyre for adventure riding. I think we need to get back to basics and remind ourselves, what is adventure riding anyway? For me, adventure riding is the ability to throw a leg over a worthy motorcycle, to travel as short or as far as you want, to traverse all sorts of terrains, to explore on a one-day trip, week-long trip, or a year-long trip, and more importantly, to be able to link it all together and have some fun. That is adventure riding in a nutshell to me. Now, keeping that description of adventure riding in mind, why is it that we keep putting ourselves through the pain trying to find that unicorn bike, unicorn tires, unicorn product, when deep down we know that it doesn't really exist? If you've seen my channel, you know I ride a Suzuki DRZ 400 and have so for many, many years. I've always said that that bike is not the best at anything, but what it is very good at everything. So as a whole package, it satisfies that description of adventure riding for me. While I've got the same description for these tires, they are by no means the best tyre at any of the terrains, but what they are is very good at all the terrains. So that falls right in line with what adventure riding is and getting you home in one piece. So you might be asking yourself, what is it that makes for a good adventure riding tyre? In my opinion, there's only three factors I ever worry about. Number one, it's got to be long lasting. If I can't get 5,000 kilometers to where I'm going and back with one tyre, I don't really want to know about it for adventure riding. Anything beyond 5,000 kilometers, I can be expected that I'll need a new tyre at some point in my trip. Number two, it needs to have all-terrain characteristics. I don't want to do an adventure ride where I'm just stuck to one type of terrain. I want to be able to link all these national parks together, all these tracks together, and I want to do it in style. And number three, I want to feel safe whilst I'm riding. Too often people worry about the price of a tyre. I'm trying to save $20 here or there, but for only 1 or 2 inches of rubber between your bike, yourself, and the ground, keeping you safe from falling over, why would you be worried about saving $20? Because if you do have a dodgy tyre, no doubt your hospital bill is going to be far, far more expensive. So safety and feeling secure on the bike is a must with the tyres as well. All right, time to get into the actual point end of this video. Let's talk about these two tyres. My rear Motoz Tractionator Rallz, or Rallz. I love this tyre now. It has done, as I said, over 5,000 kilometers, 4,000 kilometers in some of the roughest terrain out there, being rock, and more rock. Every single kilometer has been done with a loaded bike from 8 kilos to 20 kilos. In this particular instance, I got a 140 over 80. And yes, I'll admit, it's looking pretty worse for wear at the moment, but if this tyre had done the same kilometers on some sandy outback tracks, I'm pretty confident it will look in much better condition than what it is currently. But straight into it, my 3 positives and 1 negatives. Number one, it's got to be long lasting. It's got to wear well. You want to be able to do 5,000 kilometers and get home on the one tyre. This tyre is that. And number two, this tyre has true all-terrain characteristics and really is just good at all the terrains and linking them all together into one ride, feeling pretty confident. Number three, I've had tyres before, but I guess the word will be a bit clunky feeling, but on the road, this tyre is very smooth. And to be honest, I've had zero issues on the road, whereas other tires, after they've worn a little bit bad, they feel a little bit, I guess, dodgy on the road. No such thing on the Motoz, which is really impressive. Now, in terms of my negative, this negative is only partially lived, but as a brand new tire, the center tread block is not very deep compared to some other tires on the market. So that is a negative to start with. However, because it wears so well, the tread block does seem to last quite a while, and no doubt those other tires would at one point be perishing quicker than this, thus having a deeper tread block on this further on into the life of the tire. So it's a negative to start with, but no doubt that negative fades away as the tire ages. All right, time to move to the front tire. The Motoz Tractionator Dual Venture 90x90. This tire has done the same amount of kilometers. It is just looking like it's brand new, to be honest. Apart from losing its crisp, sharp edges that you get from the showroom brand new, this tire has got so much life left in it. But I'm gonna get straight to my positives. I've also got 3 positives, 1 negative. First positive, just as I said, it is long lasting. You could probably get 1 of these to 2 of those. This tire it just doesn't seem to wear. No doubt there's gonna be a point where it wears quicker than what it has been, but it just seems to last so well. It's got plenty of tread all over it, and I'm really happy about that. No doubt a 10,000 kilometer tire or more. Number 2, it is also, oddly enough, even though it's got this tread design that's in like a block formation, it is very smooth on the road. I found that interesting. I didn't think it would be, but because it wears so well, it seems to maintain that smoothness throughout. But then that brings me to my 3rd positive. This tire is not one directional. It can actually be turned around and face the other way. What that means is perhaps you could use 5,000 kilometers on this one, get a new rear tire, and then turn this tire around so you get that really even wear pattern. So it's pretty handy that it can go in either direction. So I think that's a major positive. My negative though for this tire, once again, it was a hard learning curve for me. When I was riding the first sort of few thousand kilometers, I was really disheartened on those harder type fire trails that have the compacted ground, but that little bit of loose gravel on top. I found that my tire wanted to wash out from underneath me on the corners. I didn't feel stable at all, and I wasn't happy at all at that particular time. But what I do like to do is run pretty low pressures in my tire from ride to ride, especially in the dirt. And on that particular ride and at that particular time, I only had 14 PSI in this tire, which has never been an issue on any other tire. I rang the experts, Motorcycle Tire Warehouse, Mono, the owner there, and he told me I need to run more PSI in this tire. It went against everything that I've traditionally known about tires and how I've ridden. So I pumped it up to 18 PSI. Somehow, I'm not an expert, but that fixed the problem straight away, and the tire was gripping in really well. And overnight, I actually went from hating on this front tire to really enjoying it because it was great in every other aspect, and that was the one lagging part. The only downside about increasing the pressure a little bit is that it might be a bit of a rougher ride on that real hard sort of terrain. But overall, that extra PSI really transformed this tire. So it's a negative, I guess, but if you don't mind running higher pressures, it wouldn't be a thing anyway for yourself. Absolutely fantastic. Well, my fellow adventurers, that is my experience with these Motoz tires. In short, would I run them again? Absolutely, and no doubt that will be sooner rather than later. I do have to get these tires back on my bike because I have got a ride coming up tomorrow. I do believe I've got a little bit more life in this rear tire, probably pushing it, but I don't care. I'm still going to use it. But ultimately, I guess the point of this video is don't get bogged down in looking for that perfect tire. Stop worrying so much. Get something like these Motoz tires that will just be good at everything, and throw the leg over your bike and just get out there and start riding, and you'll be so much more happier for it because these tires will get the job done. Now, I'm the first to say there's a couple other tire combinations out there and brands that will do the job as well. And when the time comes, no doubt I'll speak about them. But ultimately, I am just happy that here in Australia, we've got good manufacturers making tires that we don't have to worry about. We can just put in our bike and we can just get out there and ride and have some fun. So on that note, guys, enjoy your next ride, and I'll catch you in the next video.